Is human nature good or evil? The answer may shock you. Did you know that 60% of people admit they would act unethically if they were guaranteed they wouldn't get caught? This shocking statistic forces us to question our fundamental beliefs about human nature. Are we inherently good, or do we naturally lean towards selfishness and cruelty? What drives people to make decisions that defy morality, and how do societal influences play a role in shaping human behavior? Human nature is one of the most profound and complex aspects of our existence. While some believe we are born innocent and molded by our surroundings, others argue that we are predisposed to both good and evil tendencies. Today, we will dissect historical events, psychological research, and real-life stories to understand this intricate battle within us. Are humans good or evil? Human nature is a fascinating paradox. We are capable of immense kindness, generosity, and self-sacrifice. At the same time, history and psychology reveal a darker side, one that shows selfishness, violence, and manipulation. This duality has puzzled philosophers, scientists, and psychologists for centuries. Today, we'll explore why humans exhibit both extreme good and profound evil, and what this means for our understanding of ourselves and society. By the end of this exploration, you may find yourself questioning the very essence of human morality. We will take an in-depth look at how our environment, genetics, and personal choices shape our moral compass. From the influence of leadership and social hierarchies to the impact of personal responsibility and ethical decision-making, our journey into the depths of human nature is just beginning. The paradox of human behavior. Why are we kind yet cruel? Why do we sometimes act with kindness, and at other times with selfishness or cruelty? If empathy is hardwired into us, why do we witness wars, crimes, and betrayals? This contradiction has led to one of the biggest debates in human psychology. Some argue that we are naturally inclined to act in self-interest, while others believe our social instincts push us toward cooperation and altruism. So, which is true? Moreover, how does power influence our behavior? Why do some people who attain authority use it for good, while others abuse it for their gain? Studies suggest that circumstances, rather than inherent nature, play a massive role in determining whether an individual leans toward kindness or cruelty. Additionally, the question of morality arises. Is it an innate trait, or do we learn it through experience? How do personal biases, upbringing, and culture shape our ethical decisions? To answer this, we will examine how historical events demonstrate the malleability of human morality, showing that external pressures can override personal values. The banality of evil. Psychologist Stanley Milgram's shocking obedience experiments showed that ordinary people could commit harmful acts simply by following orders. Similarly, Nazi officer Adolf Eichmann, responsible for mass atrocities, claimed he was simply doing his job. These examples suggest that evil is often not the result of monstrous intent, but of blind obedience and social conditioning. Other historical instances, such as the My Lai massacre and the Stanford prison experiment, further highlight how authority and environment can turn ordinary individuals into perpetrators of cruelty. Inherent aggression. Studies in evolutionary psychology indicate that aggression was an evolutionary advantage for survival. Humans had to compete for resources, and those who displayed dominance often thrived. This trait, while beneficial in the past, sometimes manifests as violence and selfishness in modern society. Even today, in corporate environments, sports, and politics, we see aggression used as a tool for advancement, sometimes at the expense of ethics. The power of compassion. On the flip side, numerous studies show that humans are hardwired for empathy. Neuroscientists have discovered mirror neurons in our brains that allow us to feel others' emotions. From spontaneous acts of heroism to selfless charity, our capacity for kindness is just as real as our capacity for harm. Psychological studies on altruism suggest that humans derive pleasure from helping others, reinforcing the idea that cooperation and kindness are just as natural as aggression. The role of social influence. The environment we grow up in shapes our actions. A child raised in a nurturing household is more likely to develop empathy and social responsibility, whereas one exposed to constant violence may become desensitized to cruelty. Research on mob mentality further illustrates how individuals can be swayed toward negative or positive behaviors depending on the collective influence surrounding them. Morality and decision-making. What makes some people choose to act ethically while others do not? The famous trolley problem experiment shows how individuals rationalize moral dilemmas. Some prioritize the greater good, while others focus on personal consequences. Our decisions often stem from cultural background, personal experiences, and even neurological differences. Real-world case studies. Examining major humanitarian efforts, whistleblowing cases, and corporate scandals can further illustrate how moral choices are influenced by incentives and personal beliefs. What makes one person risk everything to save others while another turns a blind eye? Are we hardwired for compassion? The truth about human empathy. One of the most powerful examples of this paradox comes from World War II. During the Holocaust, Nazi officers committed unspeakable atrocities. Yet, amidst the darkness, people like Oskar Schindler risked their lives to save thousands of Jews. This stark contrast shows that human nature isn't black and white. It exists in shades of gray. Another intriguing case is that of whistleblowers, individuals who expose wrongdoing despite potential personal harm. Figures like Edward Snowden and Frances Haugen highlight how moral convictions can override self-preservation instincts, proving that human nature contains layers of both self-interest and moral duty. We will also look at scientific studies analyzing the psychology of forgiveness, revenge, and how past experiences shape future behavior. What compels someone to choose retribution over compassion? Why do some people find redemption in kindness, while others spiral deeper into vengeance? So, what does this tell us? Human nature is neither inherently good nor evil. It is complex and shaped by context, environment, and personal choices. We all have the capacity for both compassion and cruelty. The key lies in self-awareness and moral responsibility. Understanding our dual nature helps us make conscious choices that align with the values of empathy, fairness, and justice. Recognizing the forces that push us toward one side or the other can empower us to cultivate the good and guard against the bad. By actively practicing self-reflection and fostering ethical awareness, we can shape ourselves and society for the better. Ultimately, by acknowledging the intricacies of our nature, we can create systems that nurture our better instincts while mitigating the potential for harm. Final thought: can we control our nature? What do you think? Is human nature fundamentally good, or do we lean toward selfishness? Have you ever faced a moral dilemma where you had to choose between self-interest and helping others? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're curious about more psychological phenomena, check out our next video where we uncover the secrets of the human mind. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more psychology hacks.